10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Welcome to the 4th London International Firework Competition, here again under the floodlit walls of Windsor Castle. It's a cold night, the rain is holding off, and we hope it won't spoil what promises to be a very big show here indeed. I've calculated we've nearly £3,000 worth of fireworks at wholesale prices, all being let off by professionals, their own manufacturers, so we hope it's going to be a completely safe evening. 4 teams are here, from France, Italy, Spain and Britain. And they'll be starting at 8 o'clock, which gives us just a couple of minutes to see something of today's preparations and find out a little of how it's all done.
This was the scene earlier this afternoon, the wide open field with the fireworks themselves here in the middle and a good safety margin of at least 100 meters all the way around the outside. Over to the left of the site, the competitors' base camps, 4 tents, looking more like centres for a medieval tournament than a firework competition perhaps, with the national flags fluttering in the breeze. The enclosures for the fireworks here in the centre of the field are carefully staked out. Each competitor has an area of 40 metres by 7 into which they've got to fit their particular displays. Out in the front line, the French display with its uprights at the far end, one of the waterfalls for which they're now famous. Next in line, the Italians with what promises to be a fine display of saucers, wheels and mortars. Then come the Spaniards with their almost traditional rockets. And last, the British competitors with their fine upright set pieces. Now, with these enclosures so close together, to the layman at least, it would appear that there's a danger of one competitor setting the next's fireworks off by mistake. But that's just one of the problems that faces the director of the competition, the Reverend Ron Lancaster. Ron, a second, if you don't mind. How do you prevent the Italian fireworks going up by accident when the French are firing?
Well, that's not a very easy thing to do, but most fireworks, in fact, are being projected up in the air. They're bombshells or Roman candles, which are sending stars upwards, and most of them burn out on the way up. But just occasionally, the odd star might come down. Fortunately, there are plastic covers on most of the fireworks here to keep the rain off, and they would, in fact, probably defect the star as well. However, we have to be careful, and most of the people who are doing the other displays will be running around as madly as they can to try and prevent the fireworks actually being set off prematurely.
Yes, so each team defends its own pitch to the last?
Very much so, yes, I'm afraid so.
Once it is their turn to ignite,
yes,
though, how do they make sure they go off at exactly the second they want them to?
Well, there are 2 methods that they could do this. One is to use an electric ignition system. Well, in the end of each firework, they have put an electric igniter like this. And this little piece of wire with an ignition on the end of it is tied into the fireworks. And when they put a current through the wire, it in fact ignites it instantaneously. And they're all connected up in this rather complicated little box here, so that they will fire just as they want them to fire.
So all they have to do is throw the switch?
It's very easy. That's all they have to do.
Does everybody